Get that rookie out of my trauma bay. She touches this patient, I will end her career before sunrise. Dr. Preston Hale does not look up from the gurney. His hands move with surgical precision, cutting through blood-soaked fabric, while 11 staff members work around him. The words land like shrapnel across the emergency room. Lena Hart stands 3 feet from the chaos. Her scrubs are still clean. Her badge reads nurse, probationary. She has been at this military hospital for 6 weeks, and in that time, she has learned exactly where she ranks in this hierarchy. Nowhere. The helicopter had touched down 4 minutes ago. Red lights still pulse across the ceiling, casting everything in emergency crimson. The patient on the gurney is male, early 30s, built like someone who runs toward gunfire instead of away from it. His dog tags are missing. His uniform has no name tape. But the way the armed escorts positioned themselves when they wheeled him in told Lena everything she needed to know. Special operations. Classification level she is not supposed to acknowledge. Pressure dropping, one of the nurses calls out. 80 over 50 and falling. Dr. Hale curses under his breath. Get me 2 units of O-neg, and someone find out why this man has no medical records in our system. The patient's eyes snap open. What happens next unfolds in less than 3 seconds. The SEAL's hand shoots up and locks around Dr. Hale's wrist. The grip is not defensive, it is offensive, tactical, the kind of hold that precedes a joint dislocation. No one touches me. The patient's voice is raw, scraped thin by pain. No one. 2 MPs step forward. Dr. Hale's face has gone pale. Sir, you need to release the doctor. You are in a military hospital. You are safe here. The SEAL laughs. It is not a pleasant sound. Safe. You have no idea what followed me here. Lena watches from her position near the supply cart. Her fingers rest against the edge of a sterile tray. The grip is wrong for a nurse. Too wide, too balanced. The stance she has unconsciously adopted puts the wall at her back and both exits in her peripheral vision. Dr. Emmett Cole notices. He is 62 years old, a Navy veteran who served 3 tours as a combat surgeon before transitioning to civilian practice. He has seen that stance before. He has seen that grip, but never on a probationary nurse with 6 weeks of experience. The SEAL tightens his hold. Dr. Hale winces. Chief Petty Officer, I need you to let go of the doctor, one MP says, hand moving toward his sidearm. Now. You do not understand. The patient's eyes scan the room, checking corners, counting bodies, calculating threat levels. If I let anyone treat me, if anyone here learns what I know, you all become targets. I am trying to protect you. The room has frozen. 11 medical professionals, 2 armed guards, 1 bleeding operative who would rather die than accept help. Lena moves. She does not ask permission. She does not wait for Dr. Hale's approval. She walks directly toward the gurney, her footsteps measured, her breathing controlled. 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 4 counts out. Rookie, I told you to stay back, Dr. Hale hisses. She ignores him. The SEAL's eyes lock onto her. His grip on Hale's wrist does not loosen, but something in his expression shifts. Recognition flickers, though Lena knows they have never met. She stops 2 feet from the gurney, close enough to reach, far enough to not appear threatening, and then she speaks. 2 words, barely above a whisper. Falcon 5, stand down. The effect is instantaneous. The SEAL releases Dr. Hale's wrist. His hand drops to his side. His entire body goes rigid, as if someone has pressed pause on his nervous system. Every sound in the trauma bay dies. Dr. Hale stares at Lena. The MPs stare at Lena. The nurses, the techs, the orderlies standing in the doorway. All of them stare at the probationary nurse who just spoke a phrase that should not exist in any database, any file, any record that someone of her clearance could access. The SEAL's voice cracks. Who told you that call sign? Lena's face has gone white. Her own words seem to have surprised her as much as everyone else. I do not know. It just came out. That is impossible. The patient tries to sit up, grimaces, falls back. 5 people in the world know that designation. 4 of them are dead. I am number 5. So, who are you? Dr. Cole steps forward. His eyes have not left Lena since she started walking. Nurse Hart, how do you know a classified special operations call sign? She shakes her head. The gesture is small, confused. I do not know. I have never heard it before. I saw him panicking, and the words were there, in my head, like a memory that does not belong to me. The SEAL stares at her. His breathing has stabilized slightly. The combat-ready tension in his shoulders has dropped by half a degree. What is your name? Lena. Lena Hart. Something passes behind his eyes, a shadow, a ghost. Hart. That name. Dr. Hale has recovered enough to reassert his authority. Enough. I do not care how she knows what she knows. That is a security matter for people above my pay grade. Right now, I have a patient who is bleeding out. He points at Lena without looking at her. You, out, now, and do not leave the building. Someone is going to have questions for you. Lena backs away. Her hands are shaking. She did not notice when that started. As she reaches the door, she hears the SEAL speak again. His voice is quieter now, almost resigned. Let them work, but her. A pause. Keep her close. I need to talk to her when this is done. The doors swing shut behind Lena. The red emergency lights continue their slow rotation. In her chest, her heart beats a rhythm she does not recognize. 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 4 counts out. She has been breathing that pattern her entire life. She never questioned where it came from, until now. A rookie nurse just spoke a classified call sign that only 5 people in the world should know. 4 of them are dead. She claims she has never heard it before. If you want to find out where those words came from, hit the like button and subscribe right now. The hospital corridor stretches long and fluorescent ahead of her. Lena walks without destination. Her mind keeps circling back to the same impossible questions. Where did those words come from? Why did they feel so natural? Why did the SEAL look at her like he was seeing a ghost? The night shift flows around her. Orderlies push equipment carts. A doctor rushes past with a tablet in hand. Somewhere in the distance, an intercom pages someone to radiology. Normal sounds, normal rhythms, everything Lena has spent 6 weeks learning to blend into. But she does not blend in anymore. Hey, rookie. The voice comes from behind her. Lena turns. Derek Vance is 28 years old. He wears the insignia of a hospital corpsman second class, which means he outranks Lena in every way that matters here. His shoulders are broad. His jaw is square. His smile never reaches his eyes. Word travels fast around here. He falls into step beside her, matching her pace. So, little Lena knows classified call signs. That is quite a party trick. She does not respond. Where did you learn it? His tone is light, conversational. The undercurrent is anything but. Did someone whisper secrets in your ear? Were you a good listener? I do not know where it came from. Sure you do not. He laughs. You know what I think? I think someone planted you here. I think you are supposed to be watching us, reporting back to whoever sent you. Lena stops walking. That is not true. No? Then explain how a probationary nurse with 0 combat medical experience, 0 military background, 0 anything just happens to know the call sign of a SEAL team that does not officially exist. She cannot explain it. That is the problem. Derek leans closer. His voice drops. I have been in this hospital for 4 years. I have worked my way up from nothing. I have earned my position. And I am not about to let some spy with a pretty face and a suspicious memory waltz in and compromise everything we have built here. I am not a spy. Prove it. He walks away before she can respond. His footsteps echo down the corridor, confident, unhurried. The steps of someone who has just planted a seed and is content to watch it grow. Lena stands alone in the hallway. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead. A door opens somewhere, closes. The hospital breathes around her, indifferent to her existence. She looks down at her left wrist. A cloth bandage wraps around the forearm, disappearing under her sleeve. She has worn this wrap for as long as she can remember. When people ask, she tells them it covers an old burn scar. That is not entirely true. The morning shift change brings new faces and fresh rumors. By 7 a.m., everyone in the trauma ward knows about the rookie nurse who spoke impossible words to a dying SEAL. By 8 a.m., the theories have multiplied. She is a spy. She is a plant. She is connected to the people who hurt the operative. She is part of whatever classified operation went wrong. Lena eats breakfast alone in the hospital cafeteria. The tables around her are full, but no one sits with her. Conversations drop to whispers when she passes. Eyes follow her movements. She has become a person of interest, not the good kind. Dr. Hale finds her at 9:30 a.m. He does not sit down. Effective immediately, you are barred from the VIP wing. You are not to approach the patient you encountered last night. You are not to discuss what happened in my trauma bay with anyone, inside or outside this hospital. Is that clear? Dr. Hale, I can't explain. You cannot explain anything. I read your file this morning. High school in Nebraska. Nursing degree from a community college. No military service. No government connections. Nothing in your background suggests you should know what you know. He leans down, voice dropping. Which means either you are lying about your past, or someone is lying for you. Either way, I do not want you near my patients until we figure out which one it is. He leaves without waiting for a response. Lena stares at her untouched breakfast. The eggs have gone cold. The coffee is lukewarm. Her appetite disappeared somewhere around the seventh whisper she overheard. This is not how she imagined her nursing career would go. A tray lands on the table across from her. Lena looks up. Dr. Emmett Cole settles into the seat opposite. His hair is silver. His eyes are sharp. He moves with the careful economy of someone who has spent decades rationing energy for the moments that matter. May I? You already sat down. True. He unwraps a sandwich, takes a bite, chews thoughtfully. That was quite a display last night. Lena waits. I served in the Navy for 31 years, Cole continues. Combat surgeon, 3 tours in active theaters. I have seen men respond to a lot of things. Medication, pain, fear, anger. He pauses. I have never seen a Special Forces operative stand down because someone spoke his call sign. Those words carry weight. They carry trust. He believed you had the right to say them. I do not know why, perhaps not consciously. Cole's gaze sharpens. But I watched you walk across that room. I watched how you positioned yourself. Wall at your back. Exits in your peripheral. That is not nursing school training. That is tactical movement. Lena says nothing. And that breathing pattern, 4 count. Combat breathing. The same technique they teach special operations personnel to manage stress in hostile environments. He sets down his sandwich. Where did you learn it? I have always breathed that way. Since when? She hesitates. The answer that rises in her mind does not make sense. It has never made sense, but it is the truth. Since I was a child, since before I can remember. Cole studies her for a long moment. Whatever he sees in her face seems to satisfy something. He nods once, then returns to his sandwich. The patient is stable. Surgery went well. He is asking to see you. Lena's heart stutters. Dr. Hale banned me from the VIP wing. Dr. Hale is not the only authority in this hospital. Cole stands, collecting his tray. I am not saying you should disobey orders. I am saying there are things in this world that do not fit neatly into files and clearances and chains of command. Sometimes the only way to find truth is to look for it in places you are not supposed to go. He walks away, leaving Lena alone with her cold eggs and her impossible questions. The day passes in a haze of menial tasks. Lena restocks supply closets. She changes bedding in the non-critical ward. She enters data into computers and carries samples to the lab, and does everything a probationary nurse is supposed to do. No one speaks to her unless absolutely necessary. By 3 p.m., the isolation has become a physical weight. She can feel the stares, the whispers, the way conversations die when she enters a room. 6 weeks of careful work, of keeping her head down and her questions silent. All of it erased by 2 words she cannot explain. The break room is empty when she slips inside at 3:15 p.m. She needs a moment, just one moment of silence, away from the eyes and the accusations. She does not get it. There she is, the woman of the hour. Derek Vance enters behind her, flanked by 2 other corpsmen she vaguely recognizes. They position themselves between her and the door. We have been doing some research, Derek says, asking around, and you know what we found? Nothing. You do not exist before 5 years ago. No records, no history, no family. Lena's back finds the wall. She does not remember moving there. People with no past usually have something to hide. So we started wondering, what are you hiding, Lena Hart? Who sent you here? No one sent me. Then how do you explain the call sign? I cannot. Derek steps closer. His smile has vanished. That is not good enough. We have men in this hospital who risk their lives for this country. Men who trust us to protect them while they heal. And you expect us to believe some nobody with a blank history just happened to know a classified code? One of the other corpsmen speaks up. Maybe she is working with whoever attacked the seal. Maybe she led them right to us. Lena's hands curl into fists at her sides. Her breathing stays steady. 4 counts in. 4 counts hold. 4 counts out. The pattern comes automatically. A reflex deeper than thought. I am not working with anyone. I came here to help people. That is all. Derek laughs. The sound carries no warmth. You came here to infiltrate, to gather intelligence. And now that you have been exposed, you are playing innocent. He turns to his companions. I say we take this to security. Let them handle her properly. Go ahead. Lena's voice does not waver. I have nothing to hide. Everyone has something to hide. The difference is how hard you look. He moves toward the door, then pauses, looks back. We will be watching you, Lena Hart. Every move, every word. And when you slip up, and you will slip up, we will be there. They leave. The break room door swings shut behind them. Lena remains against the wall. Her heartbeat has not accelerated. Her breathing has not changed. Some part of her knows this should frighten her. Normal people would be frightened. She is not frightened. She is calculating. Exits, angles, distance to the door. Time to react if the confrontation had turned physical. Why does she think like this? The evening shift brings a new development. Lena is charting in the nurse's station when MP Sergeant Nolan Cross approaches. He is thick-necked and heavy-jawed, the kind of man who communicates authority through presence alone. Nurse Hart, come with me. It is not a request. She follows him down 2 corridors and through a security checkpoint she has never passed before. The VIP wing lies beyond, the section where they keep patients whose existence cannot be publicly acknowledged. Dr. Hale banned her from this area 8 hours ago. Apparently, that ban has been overridden. Cross stops outside a door guarded by 2 additional MPs. The patient requested you specifically. You have 10 minutes. The door opens. Lena steps inside. The room is private, expensive. Medical equipment beeps and hums in the corner. The window blinds are drawn tight, blocking any view from outside. Chief Petty Officer Kian Rourke sits propped against pillows. He looks better than he did last night. Still pale, still bandaged, but alert. Focused. His eyes track her from the moment she enters. Close the door. She does. Sit. There is a chair beside his bed. She takes it. For a long moment, neither of them speaks. Kian studies her the way she imagines he studies targets through a rifle scope, measuring, assessing, looking for weaknesses. I remember you, he says finally. Not from last night, from before. Lena's breath catches. That is impossible. We have never met. I know. He shifts slightly, winces. But I remember you anyway. Your face, your eyes, the way you tilt your head when you are listening. A pause. I have seen those things before, 20 years ago, in a place that does not officially exist. I do not understand. Neither do I. Not yet. He reaches toward the nightstand, picks up a photograph that has been lying face down, turns it toward her. This was taken during a mission in 2004. Classified location, classified operation. Everything about it was erased from official records. The photograph is worn, faded. It shows a group of soldiers in desert camouflage, gathered around a military vehicle. In the center of the frame, one of the soldiers holds a small child, a girl, maybe 4 years old, dark hair, frightened eyes. Lena stares at the image. Something inside her chest goes cold. The child in that photo was rescued from a terrorist compound, Kian continues. Her parents were American contractors. They had been killed 3 days before the team arrived. The girl was the only survivor. Lena cannot look away from the photograph. The child's face, the soldier's protective grip, the desert stretching endlessly behind them. The mission went wrong. The team took casualties during extraction. 3 men died getting that little girl to safety. Kian's voice hardens. Afterward, the entire operation was classified beyond top secret. The surviving team members were scattered. The child was placed in a military orphanage under a sealed identity. No records, no paper trail. She was supposed to disappear forever. Lena's mouth has gone dry. Why are you telling me this? Because that call sign you spoke last night, Falcon 5, that was the designation of the team in this photo. Kian sets the photograph on the bed between them. 5 men went into that compound. 3 died. 1 was my mentor. I was 17 years old when he told me that story. He made me memorize the call sign in case anyone ever came looking for answers. But I have never been told any of this. I do not have memories of... Memory is complicated, especially when you are 4 years old, especially when you watch men die to save your life. Kian holds her gaze. The team used that call sign as a verbal safe word. They would say it to the girl during the firefight, over and over, so she would know they were the good guys. So she would trust them enough to let them carry her out. Lena's hand moves without permission. Her fingers find the cloth wrap around her left wrist, begin to tug at the edge. What are you hiding under there? She should not show him. She should not trust anyone in this hospital. She has spent years keeping this secret, protecting herself from questions she could not answer. But something in Kian's eyes makes her believe. She unwraps the bandage slowly. The cloth falls away. Underneath, on the inside of her forearm, black ink marks her skin. A tattoo. Small. Precise. A symbol that looks military in origin. A stylized design with letters and numbers woven through it. Kian's face goes pale. Where did you get that? I have had it since I was a child. I do not remember getting it. I was told it was there when I arrived at the orphanage, her voice catches. No one has ever been able to identify what it means. Kian reaches for his own arm, pushes up his hospital sleeve, reveals an identical tattoo in the exact same location. It is a unit identifier, Phantom Corpsman, a medical support team that was attached to special operations during the early 2000s. His hand trembles. That unit was disbanded in 2005. All records were destroyed. The personnel were reassigned under new identities. I do not understand how I could have... Because you were there, Lena. You were the girl in the photograph. Kian's voice breaks. The team medic, the one who carried you out of that compound, he must have marked you. A way of making sure you could always prove who you were, even if every official record disappeared. The room tilts. Lena grips the arm of the chair. That is not possible. I would remember something like that. I would remember you were 4 years old. You watched your parents die. You watched soldiers die protecting you. The human mind has ways of protecting itself from trauma that deep. Kian sinks back against his pillows, but the body remembers. Muscle memory, breathing patterns, the way you position yourself in a room. You learned those things during the extraction. They were drilled into you during the 3 days it took to get you to safety. Lena looks down at the tattoo on her arm. The symbol she has carried her entire life without understanding. The mark of a unit that no longer exists, given to her by people who died so she could live. Why are you telling me this now? Because someone does not want this story coming to light. Someone with enough power to erase military records and reassign personnel and bury operations under decades of classification. Kian's jaw tightens. That someone has people in this hospital. They tried to kill me last night, sabotage my equipment, switch my medication, and I think they know you are here. Who? His name is Commander Jax Mercer. He was the officer in charge of the operation that rescued you. He was also the officer who ordered the cover-up afterward. Kian's eyes bore into hers. 3 of his men died on that mission because he gave bad intel. He has spent 20 years making sure no one can prove it. And now, 2 witnesses who could expose him are in the same building. The door handle rattles. Both of them freeze. A knock. Sharp. Official. Nurse Hart, your 10 minutes are up. Cross's voice through the door. Time to go. Lena stands. Her legs feel unsteady. Everything she thought she knew about herself has crumbled in the space of 10 minutes. Kian grabs her wrist. His grip is urgent, but not painful. Do not trust anyone in this hospital, not until we figure out who is working for Mercer. Keep that tattoo covered. And if anyone asks what we talked about, I know. Her voice comes out steadier than she expected. I have been keeping secrets my entire life. I did not know what I was hiding. Now I do. She walks to the door, pauses with her hand on the handle. The soldiers who saved me, do you know their names? Kian nods slowly. I will tell you everything, when it is safe. Lena opens the door and steps back into the corridor. Cross escorts her out of the VIP wing without a word. The fluorescent lights feel harsher now. The hospital corridors feel longer. Every face she passes could belong to someone who wants her dead. She is no longer just a probationary nurse with a mysterious past. She is a witness to something that powerful people have killed to keep hidden. And the countdown has already begun. Lena just discovered she was the child rescued from that classified mission 20 years ago. The tattoo on her arm is proof. But someone in this hospital is working for the man who wants that proof destroyed. Who do you think is the traitor? Drop your guess in the comments right now. The next 3 hours pass in a blur of hyper-awareness. Lena moves through her duties like an automaton, but her mind never stops calculating. Every colleague becomes a potential threat. Every security camera becomes a watching eye. Every shadow in her peripheral vision becomes a possible attacker. She catalogs the staff she has interacted with since arriving at this hospital. Dr. Hale, who banned her from the VIP wing. Derek Vance, who has made no secret of his suspicion. The MPs who guard the corridors. The orderlies who clean the rooms. Any one of them could be reporting to Mercer, or all of them. At 7 p.m., she takes her dinner break. The cafeteria is half empty. She chooses a table in the corner, wall at her back, exits visible. The food on her tray might as well be cardboard. A shadow falls across the table. Mind if I join you? Corporal Theo Miles stands across from her, holding his own tray. He is young, maybe 22, with the kind of earnest face that has not yet learned to hide its emotions. His left arm is in a sling. Bandages peek out from under his collar. Lena recognizes him. He was brought into the ER yesterday, shortly after Keon, another casualty from the same mission. Are you supposed to be out of bed? Probably not. He sits down anyway. But I needed to find you. Why? Theo glances around the cafeteria, checks the nearby tables, lowers his voice. Because I know who you are, and I know what they are planning. Lena's spine stiffens. What are you talking about? The woman in the photograph, the little girl the team rescued. Theo meets her eyes. I was there when Chief Rourke showed it to our squad 3 months ago. He said someday we might need to find her, protect her. He never explained why. A pause. I think I understand now. If you are here to threaten me, I am here to warn you. Theo leans closer. Something is wrong in this hospital. Equipment malfunctions that are not malfunctions. Security gaps that are not accidents. Someone is coordinating from the inside, and they are getting bolder. How do you know? Because I saw them. His voice drops to barely above a whisper. Last night, around 2 a.m., I could not sleep, so I walked the halls. I saw a man in a commander's uniform accessing the VIP wing without logging in. He went into Chief Rourke's room, stayed for 3 minutes, came out and disappeared down a service corridor. Did you report it? To who? I do not know who to trust. Theo's eyes are haunted. Half our team died on that mission, ma'am. The official story is we hit an IED, but that is not what happened. We were ambushed. Someone gave our coordinates to the enemy. Someone on our own side. The cafeteria noise fades to static. Lena's heartbeat thuds in her ears. You think Commander Mercer? I do not think. I know. Theo pulls something from his pocket. A small device, barely larger than a button battery. I found this attached to the IV monitor in Chief Rourke's room this afternoon. It is a remote override. Someone installed it to manipulate his medication levels from outside the hospital network. Lena stares at the device. Such a small thing. Such enormous implications. Why are you showing me this? Because Chief Rourke trusts you, and because I watched you in that trauma bay last night. Theo's jaw sets. The way you walked. The way you breathed. The way you said those words like they were part of your soul. You are not just a nurse. I do not know what you are, but you are not just a nurse. She should deny it. She should maintain her cover, stick to the story she has told for 22 years. But Theo already knows too much, and he is offering her something she desperately needs, an ally. I do not know what I am either, she admits. Not anymore, but I know I did not come here to hurt anyone, and I know that someone in this hospital is trying to kill the man who might have answers about my past. Theo nods. Then we work together. You have access to parts of the hospital I cannot reach. I have access to military channels you cannot monitor. Between us, maybe we can figure out who is behind this before they make their next move. Before Lena can respond, her pager buzzes. She looks down. The message on the screen makes her blood run cold. Security alert. Nurse Hart, report to head of personnel immediately. Theo sees the message. His face tightens. That is not good. No. Lena stands. It is not. She leaves the cafeteria with Theo's warning echoing in her mind. The corridors feel longer now. The fluorescent lights buzz louder. Every person she passes seems to be watching from the corner of their eye. The head of personnel's office is on the 3rd floor. Dr. Margaret Weaver is a civilian administrator, technically outside the military chain of command. Lena has spoken to her exactly twice since being hired. Both conversations lasted less than 5 minutes. This one will be different. Dr. Weaver's door is open. Inside, 3 people wait. Dr. Weaver herself, seated behind her desk, face unreadable. MP Sergeant Cross, standing against the wall with his arms folded. And Dr. Preston Hale, sitting in one of the visitor chairs, wearing an expression of barely concealed satisfaction. Nurse Hart, please sit down. Lena enters, takes the remaining chair. Keeps her hands visible and her posture neutral. We have a situation, Dr. Weaver begins. This afternoon, a routine security sweep detected anomalies in the VIP wing. Specifically, anomalies related to the patient you visited earlier today against Dr. Hale's explicit orders. I was authorized by MP Sergeant Cross. The patient requested me specifically. That authorization has been called into question. Dr. Weaver folds her hands. Chief Petty Officer Rourke's medical equipment was tampered with. IV lines were compromised. Monitoring software was corrupted. The time frame of these tamperings coincides with your visit. The accusation lands like a physical blow. Lena keeps her voice steady. I did not tamper with anything. I spoke with the patient for 10 minutes. That is all. Can you prove that? Check the security cameras. We did. Cross speaks for the first time. The cameras in that corridor experienced a malfunction during your visit. 32 minutes of footage are missing. Lena's stomach drops. That was not me. Then who was it? Dr. Hale leans forward. You are the only person who entered that room during the time frame in question. You have no verifiable background before age 5. You somehow knew a classified military call sign that you have no business knowing. And now, equipment fails the moment you are alone with a critical patient? He shakes his head. The evidence speaks for itself. The evidence has been manufactured. By whom? Lena opens her mouth, closes it. She cannot tell them about Mercer. She has no proof. She has nothing except the word of a wounded SEAL and a corporal with a suspicious device. Dr. Weaver sighs. Nurse Hart, I have no choice but to suspend your access pending a formal investigation. You will surrender your badge and key card. You will remain in the hospital under supervision until security clears you to leave. You are placing me under arrest? We are placing you under protective custody. Cross moves toward her. For your safety and the safety of our patients. He reaches for her arm. Lena's reflexes fire before her brain can intervene. Her body shifts. Her weight drops. Her hands come up in a defensive position that has no place in nursing school curriculum. Everyone in the room freezes. Dr. Hale's eyes widen. What was that? Lena forces herself to lower her hands, forces her muscles to relax, but the damage is done. They all saw her move like someone who knows exactly how to fight. Cross's hand closes around her wrist. Badge and key card. Now! She surrenders them without resistance. There is no point in fighting. Not here, not now. But as Cross leads her out of the office, she catches Dr. Weaver's expression. The administrator is not looking at her with suspicion. She is looking at her with fear. The holding room is on the first floor, near the security office. It has a single chair, a small table, and no windows. The door locks from the outside. Lena sits, waits, counts the minutes by the rhythm of her breathing. 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 4 counts out. Somewhere in this hospital, Commander Mercer is watching, waiting, planning his next move. Somewhere in this hospital, Keon Rourke lies in a bed that might become his coffin. Somewhere in this hospital, Theo Miles is trying to gather evidence against a conspiracy that has killed to stay hidden. And here she sits, suspended, accused, stripped of everything except the tattoo on her arm and the questions burning in her mind. The door opens. Cross steps inside. Behind him, 2 more MPs. On your feet. Someone wants to talk to you. Lena stands. Who? Cross does not answer. He takes her arm and guides her into the corridor. They walk for what feels like miles, down hallways she has never seen, through doors that require clearances she no longer possesses. The hospital transforms around her, civilian spaces giving way to military architecture. Finally, they stop outside a door marked Authorized Personnel Only. Cross opens it, pushes her inside. The room beyond is sparse. Concrete walls, metal table, 2 chairs facing each other across its surface. In one of the chairs sits a man in his early 40s, commander's insignia on his collar, gray at his temples, eyes like chips of flint. Nurse Hart. His voice is calm, pleasant, the voice of someone who has all the time in the world. My name is Commander Jax Mercer. I believe we have some things to discuss. The door closes behind her, locks, and Lena realizes, with cold clarity, that she has just walked into a trap 20 years in the making. The alarm klaxons shatter the hospital's midnight quiet. Red emergency lights strobe across every corridor. Lena presses herself against the wall of the holding room, listening to boots thunder past outside. The lock on her door has not changed, but something else has. The rhythm of the hospital has shifted from routine to crisis. The door bursts open. Theo Miles stands in the frame, blood trickling from a cut above his eyebrow. We need to move, now. What is happening? Mercer, he has brought armed men into the building, 4 soldiers. They are sweeping floor by floor. Theo grabs her arm. He is not here to arrest you. He is here to make you disappear. They run. The corridor stretches endless under strobing red light. Staff members scatter in every direction, confused by alarms that offer no explanation. Theo navigates with purpose, pulling Lena through service doors and maintenance passages she never knew existed. Where are we going? Basement, record storage. Dr. Cole and Chief Rourke are already there. Theo checks a corner before waving her forward. If any physical evidence of Kandar Oasis survived Mercer's purge, it will be in the hard copy archives. They descend a service stairwell. The temperature drops with each level. B1, B2, B3. The pipes overhead drip condensation. The air smells of dust and old paper and secrets long buried. The archive room spreads before them like a warehouse of forgotten histories. Metal shelving units stretch floor to ceiling, packed with boxes and folders and documents that predate digital storage. Dr. Cole stands near the back, rifling through a filing cabinet. Keon Rourke leans against a shelf nearby, pale and sweating, clearly fighting to stay upright despite his injuries. You made it. Cole does not look up from his search. Mercer's men are 3 floors above us. We have maybe 10 minutes before they think to check down here. What are we looking for? Proof. Cole pulls out a thick folder, yellowed with age. The classification stamp reads, Top Secret, No Foreign. Original mission files from Kandar Oasis. If Mercer falsified his after-action report, the source documents might still exist. They spread the contents across a metal table. Personnel rosters, medical records, mission briefings, and photographs. Grainy images of soldiers in desert camouflage gathered around military vehicles in locations that officially never existed. Keon finds it first. His intake of breath draws everyone's attention. This is Sergeant William Hart's personal account, written the day he died. His hands tremble as he reads. Commander Mercer ordered extraction through the northern route despite my objections. Intelligence indicated enemy presence. He insisted the southern approach was too slow. We were ambushed within 200 meters. Cole takes the document, continues reading aloud. Mercer did not call for support until we had already taken casualties. I believe he wanted this mission to fail. The child we rescued is connected to Project Nightingale. She was not supposed to survive the compound attack. Lena's blood turns to ice. Mercer made several references to certain parties who would be displeased if she emerged alive. Cole's voice hardens. I believe he was ordered to ensure her death looked like collateral damage. The words hang in the stale basement air. 20 years of lies. 20 years of cover-ups. 20 years of her father's truth rotting in a filing cabinet while the man who betrayed him climbed the ranks. The child in that mission, Lena whispers, that was me. Yes. Keon sets down another photograph, the same image he showed her days ago. Soldiers surrounding a vehicle. A medic holding a small girl. Your father carried you for 2 miles through hostile territory with a bullet in his lung. He gave you that tattoo during a rest stop, using a field kit and hands that must have been shaking. He wanted to make sure you could always prove who you were. Footsteps echo in the stairwell above. Everyone freezes. They found us. Theo moves toward the door. We need another way out. There is no other way out. Cole gathers the documents into the folder. This room has one entrance. The footsteps grow louder, closer, multiple sets, moving in tactical formation. Keon pushes himself off the shelf, swaying but determined. Then we make our stand here. These documents reach Admiral Stone, or we die trying. The door crashes open. Commander Jax Mercer steps through, flanked by 4 soldiers in full tactical gear. Their weapons sweep the room, covering every angle. Behind them, the stairwell echoes with the sounds of more reinforcements arriving. How touching, Mercer surveys the scene with cold amusement. The wounded hero, the aging veteran, the conspiracy theorist corporal, and the little girl who should have died 20 years ago. He walks forward slowly, all gathered in one convenient location. Cole steps in front of Lena. "This is over, Commander. We have the original documents. Your own soldier's testimony against you. Documents can be destroyed. Witnesses can be silenced," Mercer gestures to his men. "I have done it before. You will have to kill all of us," Keon says. "And then everyone who saw you bring armed soldiers into a civilian hospital. How many murders are you prepared to commit tonight?" "As many as necessary." Mercer's eyes fix on Lena. "But I am curious about something first." He moves fast. Before anyone can react, he closes the distance to Lena, grabs her left wrist, and yanks her forward. His fingers find the cloth bandage wrapped around her forearm. "You have worn this since you arrived. Every shift. Every day." He begins tearing at the fabric. "What are you hiding?" Lena tries to pull away. His grip tightens painfully. "Let go of me." "Not until I see what your father left you." The bandage rips, falls away in strips. And there, on the inside of her forearm, black ink marks her skin. A tattoo. Military insignia. The symbol of a unit that was erased from every official record 2 decades ago. Mercer's face drains of color. "Phantom Corpsman." The words come out strangled. "That mark should not exist. I destroyed every trace of that unit. You missed one." The confrontation has drawn attention. More people crowd the stairwell behind Mercer's soldiers. Hospital staff who followed the commotion. Security guards trying to understand why armed men have invaded their building. At least 20 witnesses now have a clear view into the archive room. 20 people who can see the tattoo on Lena's exposed arm. Dr. Cole steps forward. His posture transforms, civilian doctor giving way to Navy veteran who served 3 combat tours. "That symbol," his voice carries across the crowded space. "That is Phantom Corpsman unit. They were attached to Special Operations Medical Support in the early 2000s. That unit was wiped from every official record after Kandar Oasis." He looks at Lena with recognition and reverence. "How do you carry their mark?" Before Lena can answer, something falls from her scrub pocket. The struggle with Mercer has dislodged it. A small metal object hits the concrete floor with a distinctive clink. Dog tags, worn, tarnished, the chain tangled from years of concealment. Keon drops painfully to one knee, picks up the tags, reads the stamped information. His breath catches. "Serial number 77429. He holds up the tag so everyone can see. This matches the personnel file for Sergeant William Hart, the medic who died during the Kandar Oasis extraction. The file Commander Mercer told Command was destroyed in a database corruption." Whispers ripple through the growing crowd. Someone pulls out a phone. The witnesses multiply. Cole's voice rings out with 31 years of military authority. "Commander Mercer, stand down. This woman carries the mark of Phantom Corpsman and the identification of a fallen hero. She is one of us. Whatever you are trying to hide ends now." Mercer's composure cracks. Desperation floods his features. He shoves Lena aside and draws a sidearm from beneath his jacket. "Everyone back! Nobody moves!" His soldiers raise their weapons. The crowd in the stairwell panics, people shoving against each other in the narrow space. Keon positions himself between Mercer and Lena, despite his wounds. "You cannot shoot your way out of what these people just witnessed. Watch me." Mercer swings his aim toward the witnesses in the stairwell. Keon lunges. What happens next unfolds in brutal seconds. Keon tackles the nearest soldier, bringing him down despite his injuries. Mercer pivots. His combat knife clears its sheath. The blade catches Keon across the ribs as he grapples with the fallen soldier. Keon staggers. Blood spreads across his hospital gown. Lena moves. 20 years of buried training explode through her nervous system. She does not think, does not plan. Her body responds to threat the way her father's body once responded in a compound half a world away. She closes the distance in 2 steps. Her palm strikes Mercer's knife hand, deflecting the blade. She rotates, drops her weight, locks his wrist, and executes a joint manipulation that sends the weapon clattering across the floor. Mercer tries to counter. She answers with a hip turn that destroys his balance. He hits the concrete hard. She follows him down, knee pinning his spine, hands controlling his arms in a submission hold that leaves 0 room for resistance. The entire sequence takes 4 seconds. Freeze frame. 30 witnesses stare at the probationary nurse who just disarmed a military commander with techniques that do not appear in any civilian training manual. Mercer's soldiers hesitate. unsure whether to fire on a woman who has their commander pinned. Running footsteps thunder down the stairwell. A new voice cuts through the chaos. "Stand down, all of you. That is a direct order." Admiral Rebecca Stone pushes through the crowd, flanked by a dozen MPs in full tactical gear. Her 3-star insignia gleams under the emergency lights. Her expression permits no argument. Mercer's soldiers lower their weapons. Stone surveys the scene with sharp, assessing eyes. The wounded Keon, the armed soldiers, the documents scattered across the table, the tattoo visible on Lena's exposed arm, the dog tags in Theo's outstretched hand. "Secure Commander Mercer," her voice carries absolute authority. "He is under arrest pending charges of attempted murder, falsification of military records, and conspiracy to commit treason." 2 MPs haul Mercer to his feet. His eyes never leave Lena. "This changes nothing. Project Nightingale goes higher than me. There are others who will finish what I started. Take him away." They drag him toward the stairs. His threats echo off concrete walls until a door slams and cuts them off. The archive falls silent except for the labored breathing of the wounded. Cole rushes to Keon's side. "Medic! I need a medic down here now!" Lena releases her combat stance. Her hands shake. The adrenaline that carried her through the confrontation drains away, leaving her hollow and trembling. Admiral Stone approaches her, studies the tattoo, the dog tags that Theo still holds. "Sergeant William Hart's daughter." It is not a question. "Yes. We have been looking for you for a very long time." Medical teams flood the basement. They stabilize Keon, load him onto a gurney, rush him towards surgery. Cole follows, barking orders, his civilian demeanor completely abandoned. Theo stays close to Lena. His presence is steady, grounding. Stone guides them both out of the archive, away from the chaos, into a quiet corridor, where the emergency lights have finally stopped their strobing. "There is much to discuss." Stone's voice softens slightly. "But first, I need to understand something. You have carried that tattoo your entire life. You have hidden it under bandages and lies and a fabricated past. Why?" Lena looks at the mark on her arm, the symbol her father gave her, the proof of everything she never knew she was. "I did not know what I was hiding, not consciously, but some part of me always understood. If I revealed what I carried, the people who erased my father's unit would come for me." She meets Stone's eyes. "My unit was destroyed to cover up a superior's failure. Everyone connected to it was scattered or silenced. If I had shown this tattoo, if I had asked questions about my past, whoever ordered the cover-up would have found me. So you stayed hidden. I stayed hidden so I could survive. I stayed hidden because my father died to give me that chance." Lena's voice steadies. "I did not know I was also waiting for the moment when the truth could finally surface, waiting for proof that would expose what really happened in Kandar Oasis." Stone nods slowly. "And now, that moment has arrived." "Yes, and I will not hide anymore." The truth is finally exposed. Lena's tattoo, her father's dog tags, the original documents, everything Mercer spent 20 years burying now lies in the open before dozens of witnesses. But he claimed others above him will continue the hunt. Who else is involved in Project Nightingale? Drop your theory in the comments. The next 72 hours bring the consequence cascade Lena never dared imagine. Commander Jax Mercer is transferred to a military detention facility pending court-martial. The charges multiply as investigators dig through his files. Attempted murder, falsification of official documents, conspiracy, dereliction of duty resulting in death. His career, built on buried bodies and erased records, collapses in a single week. Dr. Preston Hale receives formal suspension pending review. His eagerness to believe Mercer's accusations, his willingness to ban Lena without proper investigation, his institutional prejudice against a probationary nurse, all of it now faces scrutiny. He accepts the suspension without protest. The shame on his face when Admiral Stone delivers the news suggests he finally understands what his blind trust nearly enabled. Derek Vance receives administrative discipline and mandatory transfer. His harassment campaign against Lena, his spread of unfounded rumors, his attempts to isolate her from potential allies, the investigation reveals a pattern of behavior that contributed directly to the crisis. His career will survive, his reputation will not. The hospital itself undergoes immediate reform. New security protocols for VIP patients, enhanced vetting for personnel with critical care access, an anonymous reporting channel for staff who suspect wrongdoing, a comprehensive review of every procedure that allowed an armed commander to walk unchallenged through civilian corridors. Lena receives official exoneration. Her personnel file is corrected, her security clearance is upgraded, and a formal letter of commendation is added to her record, recognition for actions that exposed corruption and saved lives. But the document that matters most to her is not official. On day 4, Admiral Stone visits her in the hospital chapel. The room is empty. Morning light filters through stained glass, casting colors across empty pews. "I have something for you." Stone produces a folder. This was recovered from Mercer's personal safe. He kept it hidden for 20 years. Inside, a single photograph. A young woman holds a baby, standing beside a man in civilian clothes. Behind them, a laboratory stretches into the distance. "Your parents, Dr. Sarah Hart and Sergeant William Hart. This was taken 6 months before the attack on the compound." Lena's throat tightens. She has never seen her mother's face. She has never known her father's smile. Now both stare back at her from a faded image that should have been destroyed decades ago. They look happy. They were. By all accounts, brilliant researchers and devoted parents. They believed their work would save lives. Stone pauses. They had no idea it would cost them everything. What was Project Nightingale? Advanced medical research, trauma protocols that could revolutionize battlefield medicine. Your parents developed techniques that threatened pharmaceutical contracts worth billions. Stone's jaw tightens. The people who ordered them killed were not protecting national security. They were protecting profit margins. And Mercer? A tool. A willing one, but a tool nonetheless. The people who wielded him remain hidden behind layers of classification and corporate immunity. Stone meets Lena's eyes. But the investigation is ongoing. His files contain names, dates, communications. We are building a case that extends far beyond one corrupt commander. Lena closes the folder, holds it against her chest like something precious. What happens to me now? That depends on you. Stone settles into the pew beside her. You have options. You could return to civilian nursing, finish your probationary period, build a quiet life far from classified operations and buried secrets. Or you accept a position in military medical training, teach combat trauma techniques to the next generation of field medics, pass on the skills your father embedded in your muscle memory before you were old enough to remember. Lena considers this. There was something else in Mercer's files, a reference to 3 other subjects connected to Project Nightingale, locations unknown. Stone's expression tightens. You saw that. Are they like me, people who do not know what they carry, people who might be hunted by the same forces that targeted my parents? Possibly. Then someone needs to find them, warn them, protect them before whoever Mercer worked for decides to finish the job. Stone is quiet for a long moment. That would be dangerous work, the kind that gets people killed. My father did dangerous work. He died doing it, but he saved me first. Lena straightens. I cannot bring him back. I cannot undo 20 years of lies, but I can make sure his sacrifice meant something. I can find the others. I can give them what he gave me. And what is that? A chance to survive. A chance to know the truth. A chance to fight back. Stone reaches into her jacket, produces a card with a single phone number. When you are ready, and only when you are ready, this connects you to people who can help. The investigation into Project Nightingale needs someone with your unique qualifications. What qualifications? I am a probationary nurse with 6 weeks of experience. You are the daughter of William Hart. You carry his training in your bones. You disarmed a military commander in front of 30 witnesses using techniques that take most operators years to master. Stone almost smiles. You were never just a nurse, Lena. You were always something more. You simply did not know it yet. She stands, walks toward the door, pauses. Your father would be proud. The way you fought, the way you protected the people around you, the way you stood for truth when lies would have been easier. Stone looks back. He gave his life so you could live. You have honored that gift. She leaves. The chapel falls silent. Lena sits alone with the photograph and the phone number and the weight of choices she never imagined facing. 1 week later, she visits Keon in recovery. He sits propped against pillows, shoulder heavily bandaged, color slowly returning to his face. Theo occupies the chair beside him, arms still in a sling. You look better, Lena says. I got stabbed and shot in the same week. Better is relative. Keon gestures to the empty chair. Sit. We need to talk about what comes next. She sits. The room is quiet, private. Guards ensure no interruption. I accepted the training position. I start next month. Good. The next generation of medics deserves someone who understands what combat really demands. Keon pauses. And the other thing, the 3 subjects in Mercer's files? Admiral Stone gave me a contact. When I am ready. Are you ready? Lena looks at the tattoo on her arm, the mark her father branded into her skin so she would never be erased. My father died protecting a child he had never met. 3 other soldiers died with him. They gave everything so I could live, and I spent 22 years not knowing any of it. She meets Keon's eyes. There are 3 other people out there who might be living the same lie, hiding without knowing why, hunted without knowing by whom. Finding them will be dangerous. So, was carrying me through 2 miles of hostile territory with a bullet in his lung. He did it anyway. Theo speaks up. The investigation recovered partial data on the 3 subjects. Fragments, nothing complete, but it is a starting point. Then that is where I begin. Keon reaches out, takes her hand. Falcon 5 had 2 survivors until last month. Now it has 3. Whatever you need, resources, backup, intelligence, you have it. Thank you. Do not thank me yet. Thank me when we find them. Thank me when we bring down everyone who thought they could erase Project Nightingale and walk away clean. Lena squeezes his hand once, stands. I have one more thing to do before I leave. She walks to the door, pauses, looks back at both of them. My father's last act was giving me a mark that would prove who I was. Your last act before surgery was making sure those documents reached Admiral Stone. She allows herself a small smile. Falcon 5 does not abandon its people, even when it should be impossible to keep fighting. She leaves before either can respond. Justice has arrived. Mercer faces court-martial. The hospital reforms. Lena's father's sacrifice is finally acknowledged, but Project Nightingale's secrets run deeper than one commander. 3 subjects remain hidden. 3 people who do not know they are hunted. Share this story with someone who needs to see how far one woman will go to honor her father's legacy. That evening, Lena returns to the pediatric ward for her final shift. The children here know nothing of classified operations and corrupt commanders. They know only that they are sick and scared, and in need of someone who will hold their hand through the darkness. She has been that someone for 7 weeks. She will miss it. She finishes her rounds at 9 p.m., changes out of her scrubs, gathers the few personal items from her locker. An envelope waits inside. No return address, no postmark. She opens it carefully. 3 photographs. 3 faces she does not recognize. 3 locations stamped in corners. Different cities, different states, different lives. People who have no idea they share her blood, her history, her danger. On the back of the last photograph, handwritten words. Kandar Oasis. 3 subjects remain. Location unknown. Find them before the others do. No signature, no instructions, just a mission handed to her by someone who knows more than they are saying. She tucks the photographs into her jacket, walks to Keon's room one final time. He is asleep. The monitors beep steady rhythms. Healing happens slowly, but it happens. She leaves a note on his bedside table. Thank you for showing me who I was. Now I need to become who I am meant to be. When you are healed, find me. I will be wherever the trail leads. Searching for the ones who are still lost, still hiding, still waiting for someone to tell them the truth. My father carried me out of hell. Now it is my turn to carry others. She walks out of the hospital into the cool night air. Stars scatter across the darkness overhead. The world stretches vast and uncertain before her. She reaches into her pocket, finds the dog tags they returned to her after processing, her father's name stamped in metal, his serial number, his blood type, the physical proof that he existed, that he served, that he died for something greater than himself. And beneath his information, another name, worn almost smooth by time and touch, a name she does not recognize. One of the 3, hidden in plain sight on tags that Mercer never thought to examine closely. The first clue. The first step on a trail that stretches into shadows. Lena Hart closes her fingers around the metal, breathes in for 4 counts, holds for 4, releases for 4. her father's rhythm, her father's legacy, her father's unfinished mission. She takes the first step forward. Behind her, Keon Rourke opens his eyes, finds the note, reads it twice. A smile crosses his face. The first genuine smile since before the mission that nearly killed him. He whispers to the empty room, voice steady with certainty. Falcon 5, mission accomplished. He sets down the note, looks at the photograph of his old unit that sits on the nightstand. The men who died, the child they saved, the woman she has become. Theo appears in the doorway. She left? She started. Started what? Keon's smile widens. The next chapter, the one her father began 20 years ago. He settles back against his pillows. Some stories do not end. They just find new people to carry them forward. Outside, the night deepens. Stars wheel in their eternal patterns. And somewhere in the darkness, Lena Hart walks toward a future her father died to give her. His voice echoes in her bones, words she does not remember hearing, but knows with absolute certainty. Falcon 5, protect the child, she whispers back. A promise to a ghost, a vow to the 3 strangers whose photographs rest against her heart. I am coming. Hold on, help is coming. The hunt begins.
Every soldier carry a story that few ever hear. Listen with your heart. Thank you for staying and watching. Subscribe to MVB Story for more.